Happy Hour Podcast, episode 146.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
I feel this is going to be a fun one.
This is going to be a fun one.
A lot of energy in the room.
Because we are drinking an apple pear seltzer from the WiLL Brew Lab, Wisconsin Lighting Lab in the house. Cheers. We have Adam Rupp, co-founder and president of WiLL, aka WiLL Wisconsin Lighting Lab, and Becca Schumacher, marketing and development manager. So welcome to the pod, guys.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we like to talk connections. We already kind of got that going a little bit pre-pod.
Yeah, we said we should have videos and recordings of our pre-pods, which are just as entertaining, if not more so,
for sure,
than the pod.
Absolutely. So yeah, so Adam and I, we just learned our WLA Winnebago Lutheran Academy alumni. So shout out to the Vikes. Becca,
sure.
I mean, homecoming weekend was just last weekend, so you got a shout out. And Becca, you know a couple of our team members here. You have a connection to Megan as well. So really excited about this pod because we got a lot of similarities. If you don't know, if you live in a rock in the Fond du Lac area, Wisconsin Lighting Lab is Wisconsin-based manufacturing distribution company focused on lighting structures and technology. So Adam, I'm going to start with you. Take us back to when you
Time out. I'm already
hijacking. He's going in.
Jules like, darn it. It took 2 seconds. I want to know about, we got to start with the drink first.
Sure, let's start with it.
Because I'm drinking WiLL Brew Lab, a seltzer. Looks private label-y. Tastes really well. So what is the connection there? Because we've done our own private label beer twice. We've done our own private label vodka. We've done our own private label whiskey. So how does this one work?
Yeah, so we've got a little brew lab in the one of the marketing and sales buildings, and Nick Putty's our brewmaster. So when we built our office, it was probably back in 2018 or so, it kind of started as a joke, let's put a brewery in, but it made it on the architectural plans, and Nick was a home brewer, and he kind of runs the operation. He's a one-man band, so he does that in addition to project engineering, but we do beer, seltzer, and cold brew. So we get to enjoy it during the day as well.
For profit or
No, it's basically a marketing tool.
Does he do it during work hours?
Yeah.
So he's on the clock when he follows his passion?
He's 1 foot in engineering, 1 foot in marketing.
Yeah.
So we give it away to customers and vendors, and we can do custom labels, and we'll do a project and do a special label for it, and it's fun. There's high demand for it. There's a lot of salespeople that want to give it away, so he's a hard time keeping
salespeople always want free crap to give away. Come on.
Cheers to that.
Yeah.
No comment.
I always say Drexel is basically just a merchandising company that happens to sell 2x4s on the side.
That's accurate, I know. We actually, our learning and development leader actually does home brewing coffee. So I'm thinking, I know we have Blue Door next door, but
that's a nice perk.
Just a nice little perk to put right in there. I want to learn all things about that.
Okay, we can move on now. Thanks. Right. Sorry, Jules. Back to our regular scheduled program.
Adam, take us back kind of your background and how this came about.
Sure. So Wisconsin Lighting Lab is an entity. We established that in 2017, but we're really a collection of a bunch of other things that we had going on. So when we started the company, we were really mindful about the name that we picked, Wisconsin Lighting Lab. Wisconsin part, only about 2 or 3% of our business is actually done in state. Most of it's in the contiguous 48, and then we do some overseas as well. But we wanted people to know where we come from.
Why that industry? How did you get, of all the things in the world to get into, it seems like such a niche product. Yep. And seems like something that wouldn't work in a medium. I hate to call Fond du Lac small because I live in Kewaskum and Camelsport, but a medium-sized area of the world.
It started out. My dad and grandpa had a fab shop that made light poles, the actual metal component of the lighting structure. And that was kind of the first. And there's really 3 founding companies of Wisconsin Lighting Lab. One is NAFCO, which is the fab shop. One is LightPolesPlus.com, which was an e-commerce business we started buying his products and then distributing other people's products. The third was an internet marketing business my cousin had in college. We had these separate operations. We have a tendency to go in a lot of different directions, and at some point we said,
"You don't say."
Let's
got a brewery right on. Yeah,
let's all get headed in the same direction. So we started Wisconsin Lighting Lab and merged them together. But as far as if you look at the satellite image at night of all the lights on, that's pretty much our market. Yeah. It's big in the southeast. California is the 5th biggest economy, so it's we really sell all over the place. And a lot
who's your customer base?
We have three channels. We sell to contractors, and we have an indirect path to market. We sell through distributors, and we have an OEM path too. So we've got there's like 15 different paths to market in our industry.
Wow.
We've picked 3 of them.
Okay.
And all industrial though, right? Like I can't go there to get like or can I like a sconce for my bathroom?
We have 5 product lines. It's commercial, sports lighting, architectural. We actually do some in EV charging, and then also software and controls. Okay. So it's mostly commercial. We don't do a whole lot of residential. We've done some pretty cool pickleball courts in backyards.
Yeah, but don't show up. Don't drive up to you and think it's going to be Galaxy lighting from back in the day.
It's
okay,
not.
right.
No.
Right. Okay. No. I'm just trying to get clear with everyone, like, because it's a unique business model, obviously.
It is. Yeah, we just got a really cool project for Pearl Harbor. So the Navy's got like their largest infrastructure project ever, and it's a submarine dry dock station where the subs come in. They raise them up, they do their maintenance. So we're doing all the 90-foot light towers that are going to light up the whole bay.
And it's a newer company, right? You guys are newer.
Yeah, we got it's the company itself.
Because you just said you graduated high school in 06 or 03?
I was 06.
I'm like Wisconsin Lighting Lab. Its current state was 2017, but we've got businesses going back to the 70s.
Yeah. Right, so you do have a lot of legacy.
Exactly.
Just not the evolution of where you're at. Okay.
Yeah, we really had our manufacturing foundation, and then we had our marketing foundation, then our technology foundation, and now it's all under
that makes a lot more sense. Okay.
Oh, sure. We're up to speed.
Thank you, Jules. Well, how many people do you have working there?
55.
And how many break that up by manufacturing, sales?
Yep. So we're split into 2 main departments. We've got marketing and sales, and engineering and manufacturing. So it's about half and half. Okay. One of the really cool things about where we operate is Wisconsin has the best supply chain for our products on the planet. It's funny as you start to get to know the supply chain better. It's like, well, of course, light poles should be made here. Yeah. You've got great steel suppliers. You've got extrusion factories. You've got sand casting foundries. And then on the electronics side, there's also a really good engineering base here as well. So we're able to do a lot with a small operation, and it's a lot of fun.
That's awesome. So I did see on your website, you refer to your location as a campus.
Yes.
And we recently have done that too a lot with our expansion, the Drexel campus. Joel will say, you want to live on university because it's either you're growing or you're dying, right? It's thriving. So you guys have expanded a lot since even then. Was 2022 your last expansion?
2010 to 2020, we really focused on marketing, sales, and product development. Okay. Once some of the supply chain chaos kicked in, and I feel like we all learned a decade's worth of lessons in the last 3 years, we said we got to get more vertically integrated. So in 2020, we redesigned the whole facility. We doubled the footprint with the goal of 10xing our capacity. So the last few years has been process engineering, additional capital improvements. We're putting a semi-automated finishing system right now. Okay. So that's where a lot of the focus the last few years has been on the engineering manufacturing side.
Are you a 10x guy? I saw you slip that in.
Yeah, so it's funny you say that because you hear a lot of these, like the Pareto principle and the 80-20, and you hear a lot of the technology people talk about 10x. And I always wondered, why do they do that? And I think the reason...
I guess there's probably quite a few people listening or watching or whatever. What is 10x and what does it mean to you? I guess so take a step back before you kind of roll.
When most people think about change, they think about marginal improvements. Let's make something 1% better, 2% better. When you think that way, it's really hard to see the forest through the trees. When you think about 10x and you kind of look at the fundamentals of how something is made, you start to see some of the efficiencies in your system. So when we first started designing this paint line, we went to an equipment vendor and they said, you guys are finishing what? You're going to need a building a mile long. And we couldn't afford a building a mile long. So then it's like, well, where is the bottleneck in the facility? So we created a master plan. We've got a CAD file that we constantly update to understand the cycle times of each piece of equipment in the facility. And you start to realize that the finishing system is the bottleneck because it's a huge bakery. And most finishing lines are the bottleneck because you can prep as many cakes and pies as you want. If you only have one oven, there's going to be a bottleneck. So what we said is we don't actually need a facility that's 10 times bigger. We need to make sure we understand the bottlenecks in each part of the facility. And we've been able to really shrink the footprint of our master plan, but it's because you try and understand everything at the limit. Like, how many poles can we actually weld? How many poles can we actually finish? And you realize there's just a lot of flawed thinking and marginal improvement.
Does your capital investment then go towards the bottlenecks then? We got to if we're gonna expand, which I'm sounds like you're a tremendous growth company.
Yeah.
Then are you always recapitalizing on your bottlenecks or more control, understanding it?
I think it's looking out a decade and say, okay, where do we want to be? And then you can strategically identify those bottlenecks. So we toured 100.
What's that guy? I can't think of his name. Sorry. What's the 10X guy? Real estate guy, mogul.
It's like a Silicon Valley way of thinking.
No, but I think he trademarked it.
Oh, really?
Google it, Jules.
Yeah.
He's like this kind of douchebaggy. He's never coming on my podcast now. Yeah.
Yeah,
he's got all mark. Yeah, just put like 10X real.
Cardone, is that
Grant Cardone. Yeah, bring up his image. Yeah, Grant.
Mm-hmm.
He's fun to follow for a while. I think I unfollowed him. Bring up the images because that'll explain my douchebagness of his.
I
haven't used douchebag in a long time. It's kind of fun. But then bring up like pictures of. Put Cardone up.
Sure. Yep.
This is off the rails. I'm sorry.
Okay.
We're gonna have to have him on again.
It's an important concept.
Yes,
really
indeed.
is.
Well, not Grant Cardone isn't, but yeah.
Yeah,
there you go. Like just put Grant Cardone's life or style or something, and not the book. Like don't put like his book.
Okay, we'll get that out there. Yeah. It's coming.
Life story.
Oh, life story. Oh.
Yeah, so he's got like.
Okay.
Yeah, there it is. There's the Grant Cardone I know. Real estate guy, so he's more like don't bring any money down to the table.
Oh yeah.
It's like one of those guys like just double down on what you have. Yeah. He's buying stuff in Miami and all that stuff, and he's always on private jets and. This is what you could have. You just got a 10X. So that's when he brought up 10X. I'm like, Grant Cardone. Yeah. But you were using it in a much more techie savvy way than Grant does. So that's where I was going with it. Was the scroll that down. I just got to keep my love for Grant Cardone.
Just give him all the.
Look at that.
You have his book?
No, I feel like I should have read it.
I was going to say, should I add that to the book racks? The book recommendations.
I don't know if I can handle it. Like I said, he's kind of a handful. His wife's a handful. He's marketing his daughters lately. He feels like
it's all things.
Like he's kind of like Kardashian in his whole life up. So, anyways, moving on.
All right.
Back to light poles.
Well, I got a question for Becca. Tell us about your background and how long have you been with WiLL?
Yeah, it's been 6.5 years,
okay.
Which is actually cool because, like Adam mentioned, WiLL, like that entity started in 2018. So I've been along for a lot of that ride.
Oh, yes.
The branding and just figuring out what WiLL is and how it all works together because there were so many different companies that came together. Yeah.
And what do you do there?
I'm marketing and sales development. So I'm the Megan.
Yes, yeah.
Shout out to Megan. Hi, Meg.
Meg.
You're her work soul sister or something like that?
That.
Okay.
Yeah.
And you did that directly out of school? You went
no.
there?
So I was at Marquette for a few years, and then I was in ad agencies. Okay.
So how did you guys find each other, right? Because this is a little company in Fond du Lac. From what I know about you, you're super dynamic. I'm guessing you're a young company. I'm like, this is kind of a part of our conversations is how do you find these workforce people, right?
The average age, like 35.
It's probably up to 30.
It's probably up to 30.
Yeah. I'm 40, so I'm the old guy.
Yeah. And you have about 50 people?
Yeah, 55, 60.
Right.
Yeah.
I was bartending in Eden, and my
shout out to
Scuds
Buds.
And
home of Jim Gatner.
Yes.
Scuds Buds is as well as Eden is. So both things are true.
I was working in ad agencies, commuting a lot. I was recently-ish married. We're looking to sell down, probably have some kids, and just like the lifestyle that came with working in an ad agency just wasn't realistic. And I was, all of my regular patrons.
So all your dreams died, is what you're really saying.
Yeah, basically, when you decide
Marquette, ad agency, I'm living the dream.
Mad Men,
And then the music quit playing, and I'm bartending in Eden.
Yeah.
That's when the music stopped.
So they knew I wasn't like super happy with the day-to-day, and one of the patrons, it happens to be Adam's aunt, and if you knew this woman, you'd know she doesn't take no for an answer.
Shout out to, who are we talking about?
Tanya St. Mary.
Oh, who I know, right? Yeah,
I'm sure you know Tanya.
What's up? How you doing?
She wouldn't take no for an answer. She's like, you have to apply at this place.
That's awesome.
And then I did hear back, and then
that's Tristan's mom, right?
Yes.
Yes, Tristan as well, yeah.
Okay.
So that's, all roads lead back to Eden and Campbellsport.
And how do you market or how do you find these talented people in Fond du Lac?
Isn't that the question?
I think I don't know, I think you just got to let people know who you are and try and, authentically attract the right people that,
we talk about authentic a lot, don't we?
Think long term and are kind of like, whenever we're interviewing people, is you really are just probably overly honest out of the gates. Like you try not to get people in and trick them into working there. Yeah. Like you want even show them some of the scars and the battle wounds, and just and that's kind of how we roll. Is just being really as open as possible. Yeah. You still put on your Sunday best, but at the same time, just trying to tell people where you're going, where you've been, and hopefully they like it.
I have a huge question.
Go ahead.
I'm killing you, Jules.
If
you know Jules, she worked on this all week. She's got a bullet list of things she wants to talk about, and then I work on it for 0 seconds, and then I'm just like, I'm so intrigued. I want to know.
I've never been in this situation before.
No.
So 3 core, is that normal for working with weirdos? I guess I don't know. That's calling you weird. Me. You have 3 core values, right? So that's amazing to me because we have 11, and I couldn't imagine being that concise. What are they, and why are they only 3?
So I think that core values are wrapped up in the name, Wisconsin Lighting Lab. The first is, remember where you came from, the Midwest work ethic, that Midwest grit, proud of where you came from, the hands-on approach to everything that you do. So that's kind of wrapped up in the Wisconsin part. The lighting part is focus on your customer and your product, get to know your customer better every year, make the product better every year. And then lab, I think, is the most important part, but get better every day. So, there's a Japanese philosophy of Kaizen, which is compound improvement. And that's not just, doesn't just apply to a stock portfolio. It really applies to anything. These small incremental gains that create an exponential curve. It's really...
Which I think Kaizen was stolen by Henry Ford because it's
Toyota.
Yeah, but Henry Ford did it, and then they lost their way. It's a whole thing. I can write a whole book on that.
Yeah.
That drives me nuts because Henry Ford had that concept, and then they lost it, and then they had to go to Toyota and be like, "What do you guys do?" And they're like, "Kaizen." And they're like, "What's that?" And they're like, "Oh, that's cool. We should do that at Ford." And I'm like, "That's what Henry Ford did." And then he did that. He's your founder.
They started educating all the U.S.
manufacturers. Yeah.
So they wanted the competition.
Yeah,
they wanted the force function to make their team.
It's a wonderful story. Yeah, it really is. But I always think the humor in it is that just look at your founder, Henry Ford.
Yeah.
He had all those principles in foundational pieces, and now you're so big and arrogant and American that you can't even see it.
Yeah, and he, the assembly line he took from the slaughter industry. He was flying in a plane or something and saw the way that they were butchering pigs, and he's like, "That's how we got to build cars."
Yeah, it's crazy. It's good stuff. Yeah.
So the 3 values are wrapped up in the name.
Okay, which is similar to our commitments, really. So their values are more like our commitments, where our core values are more like one words.
Yeah.
Okay, I get that because our commitments are only 3 too. Yeah. So that's the connection I was trying to look for. So I kind of get that now. Thank you for that.
I'm curious too with the fat, you're.
I'm literally going to walk out of this room right now because I need to let Jules talk.
It's okay. Just with the growth, and how fast paced this is, how have you guys continued to keep those deep Midwestern values? Because just more than words on a website,
I think they get reinforced every year. I mean, fundamentally, because we need to figure out how to build things. And the Midwest is still, one of the last links, I would say, that people still know how to make things. And I think as with a lot of the chaos of the last few years, it's a reminder that somebody's got to build this, and we attract team members that are interested in building things. Not just people on the shop floor or engineers, but salespeople. We have a very technical sale. They're calling on contractors. They're calling on engineers. They need to have one foot in the factory and one foot in the office. So I think it kind of gets just reinforced as the world kind of evolves.
Well, you continue, is your focus to continue to vertical integrate and make more of your own products instead of sourcing them?
Absolutely.
That's wonderful. I think that's...
And you guys are doing the same thing.
Absolutely. I think that's what America needs. I think that's a difference maker in today's world. And I think it creates jobs, it creates opportunities, and it creates this crazy awesome synergies of quality control, spec control. It's so cool to do it. So I see the total positive aspects of it. One big question I have for you is that I know I personally think about a lot, and I have a blank piece of paper. I don't know how to improve the quality to our of communication to our manufacturing people. Right? It's pretty easy to communicate with people at a cubicle.
Are you saying internally or your supply chain?
No, internally. Yep. Your own team members. Yeah, we're all over the board here, so it's refocus on this, right?
Yeah.
Is shout out to all 400 people that work in our manufacturing facilities. Huge shout out to them. And we have digital boards, and we have a thing called communities, which is internal Facebook post. But we constantly talk about, and we struggle with, how do I connect with that person, right? It's kind of easy in a cubicle, in a project management world, which a lot of us live in, right? When you're at the Cubes or at a Salesforce, to have like, okay, one day a month we're gonna have a development day, and which we do, and one day a month we have pep rallies, and I can walk around, I can have quick huddles, and we have huddles and we have pep rallies that are manufacturing as well, but it's hard to get that day-to-day pulse. And maybe you're all in one facility and it's not a problem for you guys, but to me, manufacturing, it struggles because their output is determined on that 8-hour shift.
Yeah.
They're not on their phone, they're not on a computer. I can't distract them with meetings and different things like that,
Yeah.
And I don't want to disrupt them on their break.
Yeah.
I think that's a really bad thing to do, which maybe I struggled with early on in manufacturing. We've only been in manufacturing 7 years. Is they're on their break. They haven't been on their phone in 5 hours.
Yeah.
Right? And you're like, well, it's not a big deal. It's like, cool. Then you have an office job. You not be on your phone or laptop for 5 hours. Yeah, Becca laughs, right? Like, hey, that ain't happening. Right? So, like, they need to get connected with the world. They deserve that. And they deserve their freaking break.
Yeah.
So I don't need to have a huddle with them then. So what do you guys do?
What type of things are you trying to communicate? Is
anything internal, right?
Yeah.
Just that.
Changes.
I mean, when I was Becca's age, it was literally going to the copy machine, writing something down, going to the copy machine, making 20 copies, and then putting it in everybody's inbox.
Yep.
Like that, those sort of things, right? Or, and then I would we had like 3 locations, then I would take the piece of paper, then I would fax it to their location, then they'd make copies and put it in their inbox. Internal communication of things that are going on in your company. How are we financially? I call it this way. I got it from Kevin Hancock in Maine, who has a lot of manufacturing people. Is everyone on your team seen, trusted, respected, and heard? And how do you do that in a manufacturing world? How is their voice heard? It's probably, to say it more concisely, how do you emphasize, because I know you have a strong culture, I've heard that, I told that. How do you emphasize seen, trusted, respected, and heard in the manufacturing segment of your company?
I think when there's idea generation, it's making sure that the people on the floor, their ideas are heard as well. And
how do you do that? How do you open that portal? Where do you find that portal?
I mean, like our engineers and our operations people are on the floor all the time. Mm-hmm. So there's not like this firewall between the people designing product. Like our engineers, when they design it, they'll help set up the assembly line. Mm-hmm. They're involved in supply chain. Mm-hmm. If there's feedback on this thing is hard to build, it's the engineer that designed the product that's getting that direct feedback. So I think a lot of it is just eliminating the firewalls between the people doing the work and the people designing the product.
I love that.
We have a pretty flat organization. Everybody's involved in a lot of stuff. We don't have like a big administrative staff. It's you're either marketing, selling, engineering, or building as much as possible. Mm-hmm. So, and we're definitely not perfect at this, and I'm sure a lot of people would tell you that. But it's just getting the people interacting with trying to see each other's perspective. I think that's another important thing. If there's frustration, it's like is it because you don't understand where their frustrations are coming from? They're reacting to the customer, we're reacting to the customer, we're scheduling something, we're trying to build it on time to a certain price. It's trying to get people to understand each other's perspectives, I think, is key.
I think you did a really good job. I just remember we had this conversation at some point over the past how many years that there are groups that are always going to be naturally a little bit at odds.
For sure.
We've talked about like sales and production or like production and engineering. There's always going to be like natural tension.
We call it healthy friction.
Yes, healthy friction. That's
healthy
a great way of putting
friction.
it. And I think also understanding that, like, yes, sometimes I'm going to butt heads with you because we're all working in the same direction, but we have different roles, and sometimes it's naturally going to be at odds. And I think it kind of like wrapping your head around that helps with a lot of that.
Yeah,
too.
You really have 2 groups of people in a company: of the people tasked with making promises and the people tasked with keeping the promises.
Oh, I like that. That.
It's the sales and marketing team's job to aggressively make promises because the rest of the world is aggressively making promises. And the engineer.
Let's bottle that up. That's a t-shirt. That's like a hoodie.
And manufacturing.
That's good. I got chills.
They have to fulfill all this stuff they had no engagement in. And that's where I've always seen my role is I'm the guy in between the promise makers and the promise keepers to make sure that we're aggressively making promises and we're doing whatever we can to keep them. And I think as people, and we have that luxury in a smaller business.
And then there's a profitability third angle is then
you have to.
Are the wheels still spinning based on both, right? Like I can make a lot of promises, I can keep a lot of promises, but did we make a penny out of that, right? Because you can really fail
for sure
if you're. If even if you're lining all that, there's got to also be a third rail kind of that I was maybe not aware of, where somebody's saying, hey, does this business model work? Like, are we on the right track? Especially when you're 10Xing, when we scale up, is that going to stay profitable, or is it just a fun, cool idea?
Should we be in this market or not?
Right.
We tested it. It works. It doesn't work. And
at this price point, right? Can we survive in what we do in Fond du Lac, Wisconsin at this price point? Right.
Yeah. For sure.
Question maybe for both of you, kind of going back to like attracting talent, your brand voice, externally, internally. You have a cool internship story I read in one of the articles. There was an intern that wanted to work for you, but the school, I think I heard like the school counselor didn't drove past.
Teacher, was it like MPTC said, "I'm not letting them intern here. You look fake."
Oh yeah.
This is an old.
This is an oldie but a goodie.
It's so good.
Wouldn't happen
So
today.
this is probably 2010. No. We had maybe 4 or 5 people, and was working a lot. It's like we got to get more help, But when you first learn about hiring people, you kind of look at your friends and family network, and we've kind of tapped out all the options there. Yeah. So then it's like, what's the next step? Well, I just graduated from college. Maybe we'll hire an intern. So I reached out to one of the local colleges, and got in touch with their business department. We're going to hire an inside sales intern, and it was all set to hire this guy Greg. And I was working late one night, and I got a call on the work line. It was like 9 o'clock, and picked it up. Like, this is so-and-so with the business department. I understand Greg's going to be starting with you in 2 weeks. I'm like, yeah, we're excited. He said, well, I'm in your parking lot right now, and I would never let my student work here. So he said, you guys are not a real business. And so that was, I was like, well, I'm here right now. We can, let's talk. And he's like, nope, I'd never let one of my students work.
What did he mean by that?
Basically a small mom and pop manufacturing company.
Oh, because he was like Fortune 500 guy, like Kimberly-Clark.
I think it was just the sentiment at the time. Like you did not push people into building and manufacturing. And he was a business student. He was going to be, a salesperson at a large company, or get into accounting or finance. And it just, I think culturally things have shifted in a positive direction.
Kind of not, right? I mean, a million years ago, I went to Oshkosh. And I talked a lot. My son's going to business there as well. Shout out to Jackson. And, business colleges, if you're going to go to college for business, I'm kind of a Christian Kirk guy, right? That he was so against colleges, right? Yeah. I am so, if you're going to business, really question if you need to go to college for business. Yeah. I learned nothing.
Yeah.
And it was all, I've never really met with a professor, because that was kind of like my goal, to not meet with the professor. I was kind of like seeing, are they going to engage with me? And again, whatever. And, half that's on me, obviously, but I just, they feature so much focus on Fortune 500 type scenarios, and human resources is so over the top as far as, not so much as woke, a little bit of that, but so much as just this corporate, 50,000 people, you're going to be a widget. So and I actually told the one professor, I said, it's Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Yeah. The majority of people are going to go to a small mom and pop business. You have given me nothing. Yeah. Nothing. I mean, how to shake hands. We have people that graduate business, they don't know how to shake hands. They don't know how to do their own finances. They don't know how to invest. That's just that's so crazy to me. Yeah. They literally don't know how to open up a sales call. They don't really know how to do a Google slide. They don't have any tools to walk in and actually do small business things and think dynamically. Yeah. Which is that's why you go to college. So just don't go to college.
Yeah, I've often thought that.
That was just a super hardcore rant. I'm sweaty now.
I feel like I'm just now ready to go to college.
Yeah.
It's just, again, it's just.
Maybe you need to be a professor.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. But yeah, I agree. I mean, and actually Oshkosh now is a pretty good sales program.
Yeah,
so
good.
We've got a couple team members on the sales team.
They actually had some value out of it.
Yeah, I think it is a specialty kind of team. Right. But it might be a good thing for them to check out.
To tap to, yeah.
Well, yeah, and I know
maybe he's just drinking too much. I don't know. These things happen.
Well, and I think
they're getting him a piece of paper in about 6 months, so he'll be fine.
I was really intrigued too by your passion of just getting people excited about building.
Yes.
Because that's something too with our mindset shift that we're really trying with manufacturing. We have a lot of manufacturing opportunities open, especially in our Wrightstown area. And it's how do we get everyone to understand this is not dirty, this is not
dingy, dark, nasty,
yes. So how have you guys
sexy? I use the word sexy. Make construction sexy again.
We have robotics. This is you get to go home with not ruined clothes.
We just walk anytime someone wants to walk through the factory, we take them through. Yep. Yeah. And I think that also helps with kind of the connecting the sales team with the production team. I see the guys on the floor most days of the week that I'm in the office because I usually have a tour going through.
Yeah.
Wow.
And then I think they like that too. Like we have them, and we have like nicer uniforms out and all these things.
Because they're kind of rock stars. They're like,
they are. Like they're the ones
off.
doing the work.
Yes.
What uniforms do they wear? We just had that conversation yesterday in Kioska Manufacturing. So what do they wear in the shop?
It's newer. We did it in about the past year. We have like Carhartt T-shirts with steel. It's nothing super formal, but we provide the guys or gals with Carhartt, like branded WiLL Carhartt T-shirts, sweatshirts, that kind of stuff. Nothing super crazy or formal, but just giving them enough that that's what they wear every day.
I love that too. Like that sense of pride for like, hey, you're building this.
And I think it's also good to, factories traditionally are these boxes on the side of the highway that nobody visits.
Yeah.
And it's like they need to be turned inside out. Like more people need to get through, and it's like if you're not proud enough to bring your customer through your factory, which unfortunately a lot of factories, that's how they operate. It's like you probably need to make some changes. So it also, we have customers on site. It's a great time. It goes on the calendar. Like it's got to be customer ready. So it's a good time to organize things, clean things up. Look at how we're doing things, and it gets those guys involved.
I'll give you an idea to consider, because you guys do a lot of tours. And when we were doing a lot of tours, we got away from it with COVID, and we haven't went back. And maybe you're going to inspire me to go back to that. But when a builder would come through one of our factories, the day before, we'd print T-shirts. And we'd all be wearing that builder's T-shirt, the entire factory. And then they would take the T-shirt off and give it to the builder. Yeah. Right? So it'd be our name and then co-branded, and then they'd all be wearing it as they walk through. Like, hey, this is all about you today. We build your trusses. And then when they walk through, we gave them everybody took them back off and they gave them the box to leave with. But just something to consider.
No, that's a good idea.
That's cool.
And your brewery guy can be a T-shirt printer too.
Yeah.
Well, it's something else for Becca to do. You sound bored. You seem bored, Becca. You can print T-shirts 4 days a week.
Don't say that. The sales team's going to hear that all my free time.
Yeah, she can just make T-shirts in her free time.
That's what I do now. What are you talking about?
And you guys do some community events too within the factory too?
Yeah, absolutely.
What's that like?
So there's lots of like Adam quotes that live in my brain. Like rent free. No, Adam, you said this and you claim you didn't, or you don't remember it, but Adam said like doing the right thing for the right reason always pays off in the end. So I think we've done that's kind of been a lot of like the force behind the community events we do. The Ledge Games was co-founded by 2 WiLL team members.
Oh, that's cool.
I didn't know
Thank
that.
you lovely.
Yeah.
Speaking of Ledge Games sponsors, thank you.
You guys are big Ledge Game people, it sounds like. Yeah.
We were there.
Yeah, we were there. We were competing.
Becca,
I was just going to say, were you
wow.
all at it?
put it on.
Yeah. Wow. So it's mainly put on. So Tyler and Josh are both members of the WiLL team. They co-founded it. Myself, along with Katie Ashrig, we're kind of the 4 organizers of the event. WiLL is a huge supporter, sponsor. They give a lot of time and resources to the event. So, and for those who aren't familiar, it's an amateur lumberjack competition. All proceeds go to support local tech education and really inspiring people to get into the maker type industries, engineering, technology, building, that kind of stuff.
The maker type industries.
The maker.
Yeah, the makers.
Becca had one objective on this podcast, was to talk about the Ledge Games, and she made it happen.
She crushed it.
Yeah, well, we should
I could see that. It was like she just shoved that.
This is my time to shine, guys.
I was like, oh, she knew what she came in with an agenda.
And so
I can tell. Like, we will damn well talk about the Ledge Games. And we
I
did.
had my talking points.
I probably
Yes, we're talking points. Yeah.
With that's kind of extended.
I don't even know how you weaved that in. I don't know where the hell Ledge Games came from, but you did a great job.
Community.
She was just waiting for that one word.
So WiLL's kind of like really taken that idea head on and expanded on it. So in partnership with Ledge Games, we do engineer and builder meetups. So we bring local. We're just trying to like recreate the idea of like what is an engineer. It doesn't need to be a degreed person. It can be the guy who's 3D printing stuff in his garage or, that kind of stuff.
And we have people that are coming out of our engineering school never thinking about Drexel, right? Because we do roof trusses, which is construction, and we do off-site construction, and then we do doors and fabrication and estimating, and they can't gravitate that, well, you guys are a lumberyard. It's like, no, we need you too, right? So, yeah. Crazy.
And there's got to be a lot of drafting, I would think.
Yes, and we have lots of drafting too, right? And but it always sounds like you need an architectural degree, which is not also the case, right? Yeah, like you kind of know that. Like it's like
mechanical design.
That would be helpful, and we can train you how to design a home. It's not exactly what I went to school for, and it's sometimes I think like that example we had, they're so focused on ad agencies. I went to school for A, thus I have to do A. Like, exactly. Like, somehow, like, God made me to do A and I have to do it. And it's like, open up your eyes and go to a place where your passion meets your talent and fall back on your degree. Don't make your degree your career necessarily. If it aligns, super cool. And for some industries it does, right? Nursing, teaching. But for a lot of this is like kind of expand your mind to other opportunities.
And I think
you can't go to school to work at WiLL. Like that. Like, you got to kind of expand your mind.
I think part of the reason that people are unaware of it is because usually manufacturing is buried many layers deep in a supply chain and it's unbranded. You're making parts for somebody else's subassembly that goes into somebody else's product.
The widget.
You guys
not sexy, right?
You guys have a brand, we have a brand. Like I think it's factories focusing on owning their own brand, owning the value behind their brand. You know, like a lot of our engineers and builders, they love when a sports field, fires up and it's WiLL Sport, on the field. We're not just, we're not making a heat sink or a electronic component that goes in somebody else's system. So that we were really mindful of that is, we don't just want to be a factory that makes parts for somebody else, although they're very important and we work with a lot of them in Wisconsin, but we want to own our brands because there's a sense of pride there.
Yeah.
Right.
And I think it also
and even
helps.
the component plants could be pride, right? I mean, it's just general pride in what you do is it's a cool thing when you can find it, right? But again, I'm saying that as an employer, so sometimes that comes across very condescending, like, well, that's easy for you, it's your company, but it's a magic sauce when you can find people that love what they do and have a talent before it, even if it is not consumer facing, right? Or just not the end product. That's saying, hey, I was a part of this cool project.
All right. One more question before Billboard. I'm curious. Podcast.
Yeah.
WiLLCast.
It's your podcast. You'll kill it.
WiLLCast. When did WiLLCast start, and what have you learned? Or maybe not specific.
Oh no, it's okay.
Just curious.
It's good pressure.
But you've been featuring a lot of the local business leaders and all that. So I'm curious what you've learned from them too through those conversations.
I'll start. So WiLLCast, we started that right after it kind of existed before I started at WiLL. So it's been going since 2019. We had hundreds of internal videos. So that was kind of what we really started with. We had internal login for training videos for new sales team members, stuff like that. So we recorded I'm not even exaggerating, I don't think, when I say a few hundred of those.
And they still exist in your training universe, so you went to a different path?
They're on a hard drive somewhere.
They're on
right. I'm not sure.
So it's kind of a test pilot that failed and we improved and went from there.
We just basically started to make it public. So it's if we wanted to learn something, why not interview somebody, hit the record button?
We just got a lot more comfortable.
Okay, that's fair.
So
we have, I think, 54 episodes out there. I joked before this. We had to take a little bit of a hiatus because someone kept going on maternity leave. And it wasn't Adam. But we really have, dialed in that brand a lot to focus on the makers and talking to other manufacturers and companies or even educators on how they're encouraging the next generation of talent in this industry because we need it so direly. But also, talking to companies that are brands that have culture. We've met a lot of really great people in the Fond du Lac area and just helping them tell their story.
There's so many talented people in this area. It's on the building side, the manufacturing side, the engineering side, and I think the next wave of WiLLCast is giving them a voice. And
I think all 8 billion people on the planet have a story, right?
Yes.
We all have a story, and it just what's your story, right? And it's so cool. And then if you do it with interest in your own industry or geography, it kind of builds on that as well.
For sure.
So it's coming back.
It's coming.
We're in the process of bringing it back.
I started my podcast because I wanted
search it anywhere, available on all formats, blah, yada yada.
Okay, cool.
WiLL, right? Cast. Okay.
Yes.
That's it.
All right, guys.
In case you're listening along.
We're to our Billboard question here. Our billboard. You get a billboard on Highway 41.
God, is Chad Dolphin listening? He's just losing his mind. Our VP of Sales has been asking for a billboard on 41 for
Here it is. Here it is.
He's his ears are perking up in Fond du Lac right now. He can
You get to decide what does it say, color. What is it for you guys?
Well, it's obviously all black.
Black and yellow.
It's black and yellow.
That's your colors?
Yes.
How did black and yellow start? Sidebar before we do it.
NAFCO?
I don't know. I think it's a really cool color.
It's a race car thing.
Yeah,
it's a race. He races.
Your races.
Oh, cool.
You've always liked black and yellow go together.
Yes, it's a race. That's totally a race car thing now that you say that.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's my brand standards have been set. It's black with white.
Okay, well
FFC.
that's and then dot. You get one too, though. You can't. You aren't. This isn't a.
So
both get one.
So Billboard, what topic?
Anything. It's your billboard. It is
Mantra,
like
whatever.
your billboard. The entire, as many people as you can think of can see it.
Leave your
as long
mark
as
on
you can.
this world.
Yes, correct.
I don't know. There's one of my favorite quotes is, "Learn to build, learn to sell. If you can do both, you'll be unstoppable."
Mm-hmm.
So I think both are really important in any business, and I think that's what I would say if I had to say one thing as it relates to.
It can be anything. It's anything, but that's
But,
you related
that's
it back. It's that, which is great.
Which is awesome. Yeah.
I want the picture of, I think it's Josh, Welder Josh, standing in front. There's this picture where you.
All right, Becca, I'm going to stop. I'm not going to let you do a WiLLCast one. I'm not going to let you do a WiLL
it's not
one.
going to be a WiLLCast one. It's not a WiLLCast.
It's not a WiLL? It's not about WiLL.
You want me to? No, it's a WiLL one. It's it's just
Adam did his WiLL one. Now I need you to do a Becca. I need a Becca Doyle one. We always call girls by their maiden name.
No one wants
I
that.
do. That's why I'm asking. This is your billboard.
Wisconsin Maker or Midwest Maker Media. That's what it'd be, and it would still be Josh welding it. We have this picture.
Okay, she's not coming off it.
What about you
she
guys?
had an
What about you guys?
Midwest
no,
Maker Media. That's WiLLCast.
Yeah, we'll do that. Well, I'll
right.
participate. I'll participate. Okay, so finish it. We did not give you full credit for yours. I talked right over it.
So, like, what we like to talk about a lot is that people assume we don't make stuff. They just assume we don't make our own stuff, even though we can shout it from the rooftop. So we do a ton of like factory footage behind the scenes. We have these really cool shots. We have the Wisconsin flag hanging in front of our weld station. And we have some really awesome shots of the guys welding, sparks flying with the Wisconsin flag in the background. So I want that picture. Midwest Maker Media. WiLLCast logo in the corner.
Boom.
Done.
Look
There's
at
your
them.
WiLLCast.
You should see them smile.
Reboot. WiLLCast reboot.
It's coming.
Go ahead, Jules. Your billboard.
Oh, I don't know. Today, I do still have this by my nightstand. Just live today in all caps. So it's just never guaranteed. Just with enthusiasm.
Oh, you wanted my personal one. Now I got it.
Yeah.
Talk fast, drink coffee.
Light bulb went on.
I'm like, no, I like
More coffee.
more coffee.
Yes.
What would your personal one be?
Yeah, talk
something.
fast, drink coffee. It's like a Gilmore Girls reference.
Oh, Gilmore Girls. Yeah. I've seen every episode 20 times. Shout out to my daughter, Macy.
Oh,
She's the best. She has good taste.
That's
all I'm
great.
gonna say.
That's a really fun
It's
thing.
popular in Adam's house, too.
Okay, all right.
All right.
What's yours saying? You got, what are you leaving us with?
Oh, mine is always changing. I wish I had a consistent one, as you know, right?
Yes.
I got way too many
I
mantras.
thought that was it.
Mine is always changing. Just this second, that popped in my brain. I'm going to go John 21:3, which is on the side of my truck.
Yes, good.
And it'll be black with the white letters, so you have to like look it up and be like, what is that? And it's simply Saint. In context, it's a little bit of longer conversation, so people are going to tune out now, which is fine. But it's got context around it. So the context is that Jesus had just died and risen from the dead, right? And if you're a Jesus person, like this is historic. This isn't Santa Claus, which is we get confused that sometimes, right? So Jesus had friends, right? His buddies. He dies. He's dead. He comes back. He's like, "What's up, guys? You want some bread or something?" "Yeah, see my hands. It's all good. I told you I was coming back," right? So they're imagine them freaking out, right? They're like talking fast, drinking coffee. Like, what the hell's going on, right? Like, there's normal dudes. I mean, they are.
Yeah.
And so in context, he's gone. And then no one knows. It's not written down. Where did Jesus go? Like when he was risen from the dead, like he like left them. Like he wasn't just stay with them all the time. So he would go somewhere. Like where did he go? Like back to heaven? He just like walked the woods. I don't know. What did he do? Talk to the trees? I have no idea. Anyways, so they said, "Hey, what are you doing today, Peter?" So John 21:3 simply is they asked Peter, "What is he doing today?" And he said, "I'm going fishing." And the apostles replied, "I'll fish with you." They caught nothing. That's the entire verse, right? And I'm kind of an outdoorsy guy. Right? I'm not a racing guy. I'm an outdoorsy guy. So kind of the mantra is like when life is like completely chaotic, ask a buddy to go fishing. You know, but you can do anything, right? Ask a buddy to go fishing.
Yeah.
You don't catch nothing.
It's all good.
It's okay, right?
Yeah.
And then the final part of the story is that they're fishing, and then it's really foggy out, and they're like they didn't catch anything, and a guy's waving to him, and Peter realized it was Jesus and actually dove in the water and started swimming towards him because Peter's kind of a crazy guy. And then and what's crazy is Jesus had breakfast made for him, which I also think is really intimate too, like a small business, right? And family and friends and God, and like he rose from the dead. He should have filled up the Roman Colosseum and been like, "Dudes, I'm back!" Right? everyone, right? The world, I'm back. But what did he do? He just took his 12. I mean, like, think if we all rose from the dead, what we would do, right? I'm not going to just sit around on a beach with my 12 buddies and being like, you guys want some breakfast? I'm pretty much announcing that to the world. Instead, the Son of God. Right. Like, I'm back. Right? This want to watch viral? This is viral. Fox News. Hey, I just want to let you guys know I rose from the dead after 3 days. He didn't do any of that. He could have. He just literally went to the beach and was like, hey, you guys want some breakfast? What's up? Yeah, what's up? Which, again, like, that is just blows my mind. Yeah. Like, there's so many little things that Jesus teaches us in a very unworldly way. Yeah. So lead with love, serve, and care. Yeah. Love, serve, and care would be my, if I can simplify it, love, serve, care. Amen. Okay, sorry. That was like, I just...
Yeah. Right. Thank you guys so much for the gift of your time, Wisconsin Lighting Lab. Check them out. Maybe get a tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love you guys. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks.
All right, we out. Peace.